The sun is going down. Watch it go, that last red light draining off the edge of the world, and notice the small thing that happens inside you as it goes. That little tightening, that quiet pull to be closer to the light, closer to other people, closer to a wall at your back. You have felt it your whole life and never once had to be taught it. When the dark comes down, some old part of you sits up and starts paying attention. You are afraid of the dark, maybe only a little, maybe you would never say it out loud, but it is there. And I want to tell you something that might set you free from being embarrassed about it. You are supposed to be. You were built to be. The fear of the dark is not a childish thing you failed to grow out of. It is one of the oldest, wisest, most life-saving feelings your kind has ever had, and the only reason you are here, warm and reading faces in the glow of a screen, is that every single one of your ancestors felt it, and listened to it, and lived. I am Og. Tonight the fire is mine to keep. Everyone else is asleep behind me, and my job until the sky goes gray is to feed these flames and watch the black beyond them. I am your ancestor, a long, long way back, and out here in my world, the dark is not a mood or a poem. The dark is the single most dangerous thing there is. So pull in close to the fire with me, and let me tell you why a piece of you has never once stopped being afraid of it. Here is the first thing to understand about you, and it is written right into your eyes. You are a creature of the day. Look at how you are made. Your eyes are packed for sunlight, for color, for sharp edges, for spotting a ripe fruit or a far-off shape under a bright sky. In the daytime, you are magnificent. You can see a friend's face across a wide valley and read the mood on it. But when the sun goes down, all of that gorgeous daylight machinery turns nearly useless. You do not have the eyes for the night. Many of the animals out here do. A cat's eye has a special mirror in the back that catches every scrap of light and throws it back, which is why their eyes flash at you across the dark. You have nothing like that. When the light dies, you go half blind. You stand there in the black, straining, your best sense stripped away from you, and out in that black are things whose senses are only just waking up. Because the night does not belong to us. It never did. The night belongs to the hunters. When the heat of the day breaks and the light fails, that is when the big cats begin to move. The leopard, most of all, patient, silent, made of shadow, happy to lie still for an hour and then cross open ground without a sound. And the hyenas, running in their clans, who can wear a thing down in the dark and are far cleverer and far more dangerous than the stories give them credit for. In the day, we can see them coming, and we are clever, and we throw things, and mostly they leave us be. But in the dark, the advantage flips completely. In the dark, they can see, and we cannot. In the dark, we are not the clever apes who own the plain. We are meat that talks. And it is worse than just not seeing, because your mind will not sit quietly in the dark and wait. It fills the blackness in for you. Every rustle in the grass becomes a stalking thing. Every snapped branch is a footfall. That low cough far off, is that just the wind moving through a gully, or is that the sound a leopard makes low in its chest? You cannot tell, and not being able to tell is its own special torment. In the daylight, a thing is either there or it is not. In the dark, everything might be there all at once, and your mind runs through every one of them. That racing, sickening what was that is not you being weak. It is your mind doing the only thing it can when its eyes have been taken, guessing at every danger, so at least you are not caught flat. And I need you to know this is not me telling a scary story around the fire to make your skin crawl. This is written in old bones. Deep in the caves of Africa, the scientists have found the skulls of our distant kin from long before my time, and some of those skulls have two neat holes punched in them. For years, no one knew what made them. Then someone held the lower jaw of a leopard up against those holes, and the two fangs slid into them exactly. That is how those ones died. Carried off in the night, up into a tree, the way a leopard still stashes its kill today. We were not always the ones at the top. For a very long stretch of the story, we were somebody's dinner, and it happened in the dark. My hunting partner Dax, line, quick, a feather tied in his hair, and far too pleased with himself most days. Dax will not speak of the night his brother went out past the fire and did not come back. We found sign in the morning, and we did not follow it far. Every grown man and woman in this camp is carrying a night like that, a name they do not say after dark. That is the tax the black has charged us over and over, and it is why not one of us treats the dark as nothing. We have all paid it. So think about what that does over 100,000 nights, over more years than your mind can really hold. Every night is a test. The ones who wandered off alone into the black, curious, unafraid, the calm ones, the brave ones, a great many of them simply did not come back, and they left no children. And the ones who felt that cold prickle at the base of the neck when the light went, who stayed close to the fire, who startled at a snapped twig, who kept glancing over their shoulder into the dark, those nervous, jumpy, frightened ones lived one more night, and one more. And they are the ones who had children, who had children, who had you. You did not inherit your grandmother's brave streak. Bravery in the dark out here is mostly a way to die young. You inherited her fear, and it was the best gift she could have given you. This is why the fear feels the way it does, too big, too quick, out of all proportion. You are walking through a dark room and a coat on a chair becomes, for half a heartbeat, a crouching shape, and your whole body floods cold before your slow-thinking mind can say, it is only a coat. You feel watched when nothing is there. You feel the pull to not turn your back on the black doorway. And you might scold yourself for it, so silly, so childish. But your body is running a very old and very smart piece of arithmetic, and I want you to respect it. Out here, the two mistakes are not equal. If you jump at 100 shadows that turn out to be nothing, you have lost nothing but a little breath and a little dignity. But if you fail to jump at the one shadow that is a leopard, you have lost everything forever. In one afternoon of the story. So your body was tuned over all those nights to a simple rule. When in doubt in the dark, assume the worst and move. Better to be wrong 1,000 times and alive than right once and eaten. That flood of fear at the coat on the chair is not a malfunction. It is that ancient alarm doing exactly the job it was carved to do. And this fire I am tending while you sleep, this is our answer. This is the great reply your kind gave to the dark. Somewhere far back, further back than me, one of us learned to take the wild fire that came from lightning and keep it, to carry an ember, to feed it, to make it live in the middle of our camp. The scientists dig down through the old floors of caves and find the burnt ground, the cracked cooked bones, the ash, and they say we have been keeping fire for something close to 1,000,000 years. Sit with that number. 1,000,000 years of us gathered around a light in the dark. And oh, what the fire gave us. It cooked the food so we could feed these hungry big brains. It warmed us through the killing cold. But out here tonight, watching the black, this is the thing I love it for most. The fire pushes the dark back. It throws a ring of light and warmth around us, and it holds the night at the edge of it. The eyes that gather out there in the black, and they do gather, and they do watch the flames, they will not cross into the light. The fire is a wall you can see through. For a creature that goes blind at sundown, that is close to a miracle. We could not become hunters of the night. So instead we built ourselves a little piece of daytime and carried it with us into the dark. And there is more the fire gave us than safety, though safety came first. Once the ring of light was holding the dark at bay, something new could happen inside it. We could stop watching over our shoulders for a while and start looking at each other. The hours after the sun is gone, all of us pulled in close around the one warm, bright thing for miles. This is where we became who we are. This is where the stories get told. Where the old ones pass on what they know. Where a child learns the names of things, and two people fall in love across the flames, and the whole long memory of the people gets handed down, night after night, mouth to ear in the firelight. The dark tried to kill us, and in answer we built the place where our minds were born. When you gather with your people around any warm light and talk late into the night, you are doing the oldest human thing there is. But a fire on its own is not enough. It has to be fed, and it has to be watched all night, every night, or it dies and the dark comes flooding back in. And no one person can stay awake forever. So we did the other clever thing. We slept together in a heap close, and we took turns. There is a lovely piece of this the scientists have found, and it happens to fit the fear so well it makes me smile. They went and watched people who still live much the way we did, sleeping in a group out under the sky. And they found that across a whole night, almost never was everyone asleep at the same time. There was nearly always someone stirring, an old one whose sleep had gone thin with age and who woke before dawn, a young one who stayed up late, a light sleeper who surfaced at every small sound, not standing guard on purpose. Just between all of them, their different sleep laid end to end. The group was almost never truly blind and helpless at once. So if you are the one in your house who wakes at every creak, if your sleep is light, if you snap awake at 3 in the morning, at a sound the others slept straight through, you might curse it as a fault. Methink you have got it backwards. That light, watchful sleep is not broken. It is a post. For 100,000 years, the tribe needed someone exactly like you, awake in the small hours, catching the sound the deep sleepers missed. You are not a bad sleeper. You are a sentry, and do not imagine it was only us men standing the watch. Mara, my wife, calm as still water, and the one I would trust my life to before any hunter. Mara has sat up more nights over that fire than I have, a little one tucked against her, her eyes on the black while the camp slept. The keeping of the night was never one person's task. It was all of us laid together, each taking the hours our bodies gave us, so that the fire never died and the dark never once found us fully asleep and undefended. A camp is a machine for surviving the night, and every single person in it is a working part. There is a small shape sitting up in the dark behind me now. That is Tem, my boy. He should be deep asleep against his mother, but the dark has got into him tonight, the way it gets into all of the little ones, and he will not close his eyes unless he can see the fire and see me. He is frightened of the black beyond the light. He is sure there is something in it. And here is the thing I will not do. I will not tell him he is being silly, because he is not. The little ones feel this fear the strongest, earliest, sharpest, long before they could ever understand a leopard. They are already afraid of the dark and of being left alone in it. And why would that be if the fear were just some foolish thing to be laughed out of them? The scientists think, and here they are careful, they call it their best guess, not a proven thing, that a child fears the dark so young and so hard for the plainest reason there is. Because a child, small and soft and slow, was the very thing the night most wanted. If any of us could not afford to wander off from the fire, could not afford to be brave and calm in the black, it was the children. The ones who clung, who cried out to be near the grown ones, who would not settle in the dark alone, those were the ones who were still there in the morning. Tem's fear is keeping Tem alive, so I do not laugh at it. I put more wood on the fire, and I let him see me do it, and I let him watch the black with me until his eyes get heavy. And here is a strange gift the dark left folded up inside you when you meet most nights and never think about. When you sleep and your mind throws up its worst dreams, what are they? For so many of us all over the world, it is the same handful of things. You are being chased by something and your legs will not work. you are falling. You are hiding, holding your breath while something searches for you. You wake with your heart slamming. Now ask yourself why, of all the things a mind could dream, it keeps rehearsing those. The scientists suspect, and they are careful to call it a guess, that the dream is a kind of practice. A safe place to run the drill for the oldest dangers, over and over, so the body knows the moves without ever having to learn them the hard way, out there, for real. Your nightmares are the night, still teaching you, long after the leopard is gone. And now, my descendant, I want to turn all of this around and hold it up in front of you, in your bright and busy world, because you carry every bit of it still. I know your nights are not like mine. No leopard waits at the edge of your camp. You can drown a whole room in light with the touch of a finger, more light than I saw in my entire life, whenever you please. And yet look at what you still do. You come home and the house is dark, and before anything else your hand finds the switch, not really to see, but to feel right again. A part of you still does not like a dark doorway. You still, if you are honest, move a little quicker up the stairs with your back to the black below. You give your children a small light to sleep by, and you never once think of it as ancient, but it is my fire, shrunk down small and made safe and set on a shelf, doing the exact same job it has always done, holding the dark at the edge of the little one's world so the old alarm can quiet down enough to let them sleep. Watch yourself, and you will catch the old animal moving. You check the lock, and then a part of you checks it again. You will not let your foot dangle off the edge of the bed into the dark beneath it. Not really, not even now. You cross a black parking lot with your keys pushed between your fingers and your ears wide open. You even pay good money on purpose to sit in a dark room and let a story frighten you half to death, because some deep part of you still needs to practice the fear and loves the sweet flood of relief when the lights come up and you are safe after all. And on a cold night, put a fire in front of almost anyone and watch them go quiet and soft and drawn to it, unable to look away. That is not a preference. That is a million years pulling on you. None of that is weakness. None of it is childish. It is the truest kind of memory there is, the kind written not in your mind but in your marrow. When your heart kicks at a shape in a dark room, that is 100,000 grandmothers grabbing your arm and hissing, "Not tonight, not you, get to the light." They were right every time it mattered, and their fear is why you exist to feel it. So the next time the dark makes that old part of you sit up and take notice, do not be ashamed of it, and do not try to shame it out of your children. Just do what we have always done. Move toward the light. Move toward the others. Keep the fire fed. Your body still remembers, even when your mind has forgotten, that once upon a time it was the only thing that kept you alive. I am Og, and I have a fire to keep. But before you go, tell me, when the house is dark and quiet, what is the one thing a piece of you still checks for? The doorway, under the bed, the window with no curtain. Tell me down below in the comments, honestly. I want to know which old ghost your body is still watching for. And leave the little light on tonight. You have earned it over 1,000,000 years. Sleep well, and I will keep the dark back until morning.